What is up, fight fans? This is DJC Combat back here with another prediction video, but this one is another collab prediction video. Oh, the heck was that? Anyway, another collab prediction video, actually with the same person who I did a prediction video with for UFC 284. Welcome back, Kilo MMA. We're going to talk about UFC 286, Usman versus Edwards 3. We're going to talk about the main card together and one fight in particular on the early prelims, which is Juliana Juju Miller making her UFC debut after winning Tough against Dan Hardy's girlfriend. So I'm going to let you, Kilo, kickstart this one.
Yeah, what's up, everyone? Yeah, so obviously, Dan Hardy's girl, wife, whatever, Veronica Macedo, I don't really think she's that good. And, as the MMA guru said before, it's kind of hard to judge female fights, especially if they're like, kind of lower ranks. But Veronica's like 1-4 in the UFC. Like, she lost her first three fights in a row, I believe. And then she beat Polyana Viana by like submission armbar. And then came back in like 2020 and then lost again. And then she hasn't fought in about 3 years. And obviously, Juju, she's like 3-1 in the MMA career. She just beat Brogan Walker to win the Ultimate Fighter finale. She's not that good of a fighter, but I believe I'm not sure about the stand up. I think Miller's got a decent stand up, but I think he's gonna go to the ground pretty quickly, and I think Miller's gonna get a sub in the first round. So yeah.
Me too. I think Juju Miller's going to destroy her. Like, this girl has a bright future.
Yeah.
I mean, did you say she's not that good? I mean, maybe not right now, but from what I've seen from Tough, I mean, this girl is tough. I use both words, tough,
Yeah. I
tough to
was
all
just referring to her
fighter,
stand up though.
and physically tough. Okay, I see what you mean. So she kind of has subpar stand up, but tremendous grappling,
Yeah.
tremendous pressure, tremendous cardio,
Yeah.
constantly in your face, pushing a pace.
Yeah.
She can lose the first round, but as the fight goes on, she gets stronger and stronger and just
Yeah.
breaks you down and imposes her grappling. We saw it against Brogan Walker. I think she's
Yeah.
going to win this fight relatively easily. And as you said, I think we'll see like a first round finish, maybe
Yeah.
a ground and pound TKO or a submission.
Yeah.
Now let's move on to the main card. So to kick off the main card, we got Marvin, the Italian Dream, Vittori versus Roman Dolidze. I'm gonna start with me. I'm going with Marvin Vittori right off the bat. I just think Roman. I mean, he's good, but he doesn't have many advantages over Marvin Vittori. I think to beat Vittori, you have to be a good anti wrestler with superior striking to Marvin. And I'm pretty sure Roman's takedown defense isn't bad, given that he, comes from that grappling background. But his striking isn't great. I don't think he can outbox Vittori. Vittori's got some decent boxing when he's not up against Adesanya or Whitaker. I think he can win the stand-up with Roman. I think he can out-grapple Roman. I think he can stuff takedowns of Roman. And I just think Marvin is more proven and tested to be at that sort of elite level in the middleweight division, whereas Roman, not proven, not tested. I don't really think he's at that level to the guys that Vittori's been in there with. So I think Marvin has this one, and he takes a decision win. What about you?
Yeah. I agree. To be fair, I think Marvin, he's kind of got that standard in the division where he's tough. He's got a granite chin, and he's got the pace to go 5 rounds. I know it's only a 3 round fight, but like Roman Dolidze, he's not that impressive to be honest. Like, he's Georgian, but he's got a very good grappling. But I think he's kind of ass on the feet. Like, he kind of finished Phil Hawes, but he looked kind of crap against Jack Hermanson on the feet, and then Hermanson went for a takedown, and then we know what happened for there. He kind of deserves to lose the fight, but he's pretty good fighter overall. He's got good ground game. But as you said, I think Vittori probably defends his takedown. I think Vittori can out grapple him, and I think he can out strike him as well. I think in order to beat Vittori, you have to be like a Robert Whitaker or an Izzy, someone who has superior, better striking to him, and as you said, can anti grapple. Well, I just don't see Dilitsey beating Vittori like right now. I just don't. I don't think he's good enough. So yeah, I predict a decision as well, 30-27.
Okay. And now moving up the main card. So they actually changed the main card because when I did my main card prediction video, um Jojo Wood versus Luana
Yeah, she was
Carolina
on the
was
main
the
card.
feature fight, and Maya versus O'Neal wasn't on the main card, but now Jojo Wood is off the main card. Thank God for that. I did not want to have to
Yeah,
talk about that fight. Instead, they got Maya versus O'Neal, which actually I like this fight better.
yeah.
Who do you see winning that one?
Um, I've got I've got Jennifer Maya. You know, Jennifer Maya, she's not that bad of a fighter. You know, you look at the people who she's lost to. She's only lost like the best in the division. She's only to like Valentina, Caitlin Chikagian. You know, she doesn't really lose often. She's a good fighter. She has decent stand up. You know, she caught man on Fjord, who she lost to, but she caught man on Fjord with like a nice head kick, like a nice combination on the feet. And she's got good ground game. You know, she held Valentina down for a round, and she submitted Joanne Wood when like Joanne Wood was supposed to have the title shot, and then she had to wait, so she took a risk and fought Jennifer Meyer and got submitted. Um, and I think Casey O'Neill is just a bit overrated, to be honest. I don't think she's that great. You know, she took Roxanne Modafferi to a split decision, an old washed Roxanne Modafferi in her retirement fight. You know, she beat up Antonina on the ground, but Antonina's not great either. So I think I'm gonna pick Jennifer Maya by third round submission.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't too sure going in, but based off what you said, I think I got to agree. Jennifer Maya is a
Yeah,
very solid fighter. She gave a decent showing against Shevchenko. I know it wasn't like Santos level good showing,
yeah,
or even what Alexa did before the late comeback, but she looked good against Valentina, had that one big round, and like you said, she always is the best. And I was not impressed by O'Neal's last fight. Now, who knows? She's young.
yeah,
She can always come back after a year out and look massively improved. And maybe, who knows? Maybe Maya will be a stepping stone for the young up and coming O'Neal. But I don't know, man. Maya's pretty solid, so I think I might take her. Even Jennifer had some moments against Manon Furo, so I'm going to take Jennifer Maya to win a decision and give Casey her first loss. And also, Casey's coming off a bad knee injury, so who knows how she
yeah,
looks. So I'm going to say Maya by decision. Now, what do we have next on the main card? Gunnar Nelson versus Brian Barberina. Yeah, I think Barberina is going to lose this fight. I mean, he is dangerous. He could always knock out Gunnar every fight starts standing, but it's an MMA fight, not a kickboxing fight, and Barberina is not known for the greatest defensive grappling, as shown against RDA. Now, I know RDA is better than Gunnar Nelson, but Gunnar Nelson has that style that's bad for Barberina. I think Gunner's going to waste no time. He's not going to mess around with the stand up, the dangerous stand up of Barberina, that is. He's going to go right in there. He's going to work his grappling. And I believe he is going to get a submission over Brian Barberina.
yeah. I agree, to be honest. You know, Gunner's got decent stand up. He's kind of adopts that karate style similar to Conor McGregor. You know, he has decent striking, but you know, Barberina's got hands, but that's pretty much it. He doesn't have a great gas tank, and he has zero ground game. Like his ground game's ass, really. And I just think Gunner's not going to waste any time. I think he's going to get Barberina down pretty easily, and I can just see him latching up a rear naked choke in the first round, maybe 2.5, 3 minutes into the round, and I think he's going to submit him in the first round.
Yep, I agree. And then we move on to the co-main events. Everyone's
Ooh.
excited about this one. Justin Gaethje versus Rafael Fiziev. Huge fight in the lightweight division. Big opportunity for Fiziev. I think Gaethje's like ranked number 3. And if Fiziev gets this done, he's going to be likely in the title picture. Especially
Yeah,
like let's say if Charles Oliveira beats Beneil Dariush. I know Oliveira wants the next shot, but I don't think the UFC is going to want to give him the next title shot right away at Islam and Abu Dhabi. If Fiziev wins and Beneil loses, Fiziev is getting that next shot. So this is a big opportunity for Rafael. I do think he makes the most of it. And I do think Fiziev is going to win this fight against Gaethje. Now, maybe I'm underestimating Justin. I know he's tough. I know he's a dog. He's dangerous, and he's got that one-shot knockout power. You know what I mean? But I just think when it comes to the striking, Fiziev is much better. Better kickboxer than Gaethje. He's faster, better footwork, and because of his Muay Thai style, he's going to be in a stance to where the leg kicks of Gaethje will not be super effective. I think he can defend the leg kicks like Oliveira did, and
Yeah.
considering Oliveira kind of has that Muay Thai striking style. So I don't think the leg kicks will work. And just with Gaethje, with his one-dimensional boxing approach, that won't work on Fiziev. I think Fiziev will be too disciplined to get lured in a brawl. I think Fiziev will also exploit Justin's weakness, the body shots. And I just think he's going to pick Gaethje apart. And Gaethje, even though he has wrestling, he doesn't use it. But even if he tries, Fiziev has a really good takedown defense. And, Justin Gaethje says he gasses when he wrestles. So doesn't matter if he wrestles, he's not going to win. So I got Rafael Fiziev winning this fight. It could be a finish, could be a decision. But either way, I do see Rafael Fiziev winning. What about you?
Yeah. When I look at a high fight magnitude like this, I see it as you as good as your last performance, and I look at both of those last performances. So for Zivi, he fought RDA. I think he was winning the fight 3-1 anyway. He was doing very good in the stand up. He defended all of RDA's takedowns except for one, I think, in the fourth round. But and he still, the dangerous thing about Fiziev is that he carries his power like into the fifth round, into like the late
Yeah.
of the fight as well, and it's dangerous threat. And really, look, if you look at Gaethje's fight, like he wasn't in it. He got absolutely dominated by Charles. He knocked him down. He was scared to go in the guard with Charles. Charles rocks Gaethje with the first punch, and even after Gaethje, the fight, he said, "Look, Charles hit me with something I never felt before." And to be honest, I don't know if I buy into that because I think he's probably been hit harder by Chandler, Dustin, etc. And I just think he's been in wars for like years, like even before the UFC. He's had wars in Michael Johnson, Alvarez, Poirier, um, Tony, Chandler, and I just think it's taken a toll on him now. I don't think he's the same fighter. You saw in the Charles fight, he was swinging so much that he was falling off balance. I think he gets hit too easily, and I think his chin isn't the same anymore. And I think Fiziev's honestly just going to pick him apart. He's got the style to deal with Gaethje's leg kicks. And we all know Gaethje doesn't like body shots. And I think Fiziev's going to do some nasty work to Gaethje's body. And I just think Fiziev's going to outclass him, and Gaethje's not going to wrestle. And if he does, I think he's going to get it stuffed. And I just think Gaethje's going to be reckless as usual. Fiziev's going to be clean. And I think he's going to probably make it look fairly easy. He's going to expose Gaethje a bit, and he's going to... I think he's going to get a finish in the third round. I'm going to say it's only a 3-round fight. I think he gets a finish in the third round. But in terms of who gets a title shot, like he could, but I honestly think if Benil beats Oliveira, I
Then
think
he's next.
yeah, I think Benil deserves a title shot because he was scheduled to fight Makachev anyway, and then he got off lucky fighting frigging Bobby Green. They were scheduled to fight, and that's going to be the ultimate test for Makachev. He's the one who I only see beating Makachev right now because he's got the wrestling, the jiu-jitsu. But that's another day to talk about that. But I think if Fiziev wins, he's probably in the title picture, as you said. And obviously, if Benil loses and Fiziev wins, and that sets him up for a title shot in Abu Dhabi. So,
well, you know what I think? I think if let's say Fiziev wins and Benil wins, I think the UFC should then book Fiziev against Dustin Poirier. I think he should get rid of Dustin, go through getting rid of Gaethje and Dustin back to back, because even though I love Poirier and I don't mind Gaethje, the thing that annoys me about them is they're both super entitled. They're not really down to fight anybody, anyone, anywhere, anytime. And
I know
they
what you
think,
mean.
one win, I'll get a title shot. So Poirier is probably holding out for the next shot or only wants a big fight. So he's just kind of a waste of space in the top of the division. And I just think we just need some new blood who's going to be consistently active and willing to fight anybody. So, and I think that is the fight to make.
Yeah, I think so too. I think Fizzy versus Poirier, that would be a more interesting fight because Dustin, his chin has took a few licks, but he can actually box, and he's a way more technical brawler than Justin Gaethje is, and he throws very good kicks as well, and he can go the distance, and he is calculated. But the thing is with Dustin, like I know Fizzy isn't going to bring this, but his takedown defense, like he just can't deal with those grapplers. None of those guys at ATT know how to deal with the grapplers. Like
Yep.
Masvidal couldn't take the pace of Colby. He couldn't defend the takedowns properly. Dustin got mauled by Khabib. Didn't want it on the ground with Charles. It's the same story, but I would like to see. I kind of would like to see Fiziev beat Dustin as well, and then there's no argument for him in the title shot. But I also want to see Dustin go up to 170 and get smacked by Colby, and then
Oh,
he'll be a bit irrelevant on heavyweight. But yeah,
that's the fight that's gonna bring Colby out of retirement. That's gonna bring him
yeah,
out of hiding. That's the fight that
yeah,
Colby won't turn down.
yeah. I
Speaking
think
of Colby, oh, go ahead.
Colby's accepting these fights, but like what I'm hearing is that he wants to fight. He's accepting all these fights, but they and like the contracts aren't coming, the fights aren't getting agreed
Oh,
to, and all that. So I think Colby's willing to fight anybody anytime, really, with a big enough name. He's kind of scheduled to fight Bilal at one point. Chimaev, this goes on. He wants to fight Dustin as well, but I don't know. I'd love to see him fight Dustin. Yeah.
yeah, I just want to see him fight, period, But speaking of Colby, since he's in the welterweight division, there is
Yeah.
buzz that he's actually in London as a backup. I think that's bogus. But now, with that being said, let's get into the main event, the trilogy Usman
Yeah.
Edwards. Now, this guy, Kilo MMA, he's one of the biggest Leon Edwards fans I know. And he even had the pleasure of meeting him in person. I wish I could meet my favorite fighters in person. And he also called the upset as well, so credit to him for that. So because he is a Leon fan, I'm going to let you go first and I guess give us your analysis and breakdown of this trilogy.
Oh, all right. This is gonna be a bit long, but like the other day I was preparing for this video and I was thinking, what am I gonna say? And even more things have came up since since then. Like I watched the Dan Hardy show, the analysis show, and even Dan Hardy said, "All right, like let's not look at the what they've done in their previous fights. Let's just look at their last fight." So coming into the rematch, Leon, he looks fresh. He looks good on the feet. He's kind of beating Usman on the feet. It's fairly competitive, and then Leon slips, falls on his back. He gets up pretty much straight away, and then he gets into the clinch and then takes Usman down straight into mount, takes his back, controls him for the rest of the round. So obviously that gives Leon confidence, but we can kind of see then from the second round that Leon's starting to gas because of the altitude. He's not used to it. Everyone on that card, as apart from Usman, was slowing down. Um, he was getting tired, fatigued. He was still doing good. He still rocked Usman at times. He was still winning a lot of the stand-up exchanges, but the takedowns were just getting easier and easier, and it started to look like their first fight. And Usman just took the second round, the third round, getting him up against the fence, throwing shots. Leon did well to block those shots. He hit him with a few nice knees, elbows, kicks, and you can just see that by the end of the fourth round. And then I was kind of broken, and then he had that motivational corner speech like, "Stop being sorry, you fucking oh, come on, then you're gonna pull it out of the fire." Yeah, that was probably the most iconic corner moment of all time. It's literally a Rocky movie, and then it
Yeah.
comes out. Obviously, Usman, he clinches him, and then the ref splits him because he's seen enough of Usman just being boring, which is kind of fair. And then Usman just relaxes, like, yeah, all right, I won this fight. I'm just going to coast. And then we hear John Lennon saying, but that is not the cloth on which he is cut. And the next thing we see a beautiful high kick out of nowhere, feints with a jab with the left hand. Usman slips to the left, and boom. He gets caught flush with a head kick clean, puts him out in the fifth round. Power pound headshot dead. I love that quote. But yeah, he knocks Usman out cold with his eyes open. So first of all, I believe that's gonna give Leon like sky high confidence. The last guy to beat Leon in the UFC was Usman, and then he knocked him out. Um, in the last round with a head kick. And you know what? Like, as a champion, people just don't come back the same after knockout losses like that. I think Usman's probably putting on a good poker face, but I think he's never experienced this before. He's never been really been in enemy territory. He's not going to be used to walking out first. I mean, last he's going to be walking out first, and he's going to be getting booed. And Leon's going to be walking out after him, and he's going to be getting all the cheers. He's in London. Leon's confidence is going to be sky high. He ain't gonna. It's not at altitude, so I think Leon can go 5 rounds, and I think we're gonna see a much better, aggressive version of Leon. And I think Usman is just not gonna recover properly. I think the loss, maybe he's like what he's been saying is true. Maybe the pressure has been released off him, and he's coming in hungry. Because I do believe we're gonna see a hungry Usman, but I can see Leon getting into his head a bit. Um, there's only 3 out of 11 champions who got finished and then won their belt in the rematch. Stipe, Amanda, and who was the other now?
Figueredo.
Figueredo.
Yeah,
Figueredo did it.
on immediate attempts. But there's been a lot of former champs who've came back from being finished and
Yeah, yeah,
won
and
rematches, but
GSP
not
as well,
immediately.
and GSP.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, I don't know if Usman's gonna go on that list. Um, I think he's a great fighter, but I think he's a tiny bit overrated. He's got very good wrestling, but his striking's not the greatest. He's got technical 1-2s, but Usman, he doesn't really know how to throw combinations. Every time Colby got him into a brawl in their second fight, Colby was winning the exchanges. He even rocked him at the end of the fourth round. A bit of a sus chin from Usman. Got rocked by Colby, dropped by Burns, and now knocked out clean. You know, by Leon. So maybe the chin of Usman can be exposed, and like maybe Leon can crack him on the chin, but um, I think Leon is better in the striking, and Wonderboy called it. Like he's been making amateur mistakes, like ducking his head, doing this, doing that. And Leon, like he planned for the head kick, and I feel like he's going to make adjustments. He's going to be more aggressive. He's going to stand his ground. He's going to listen to his coaches, and he's going to have the confidence. And obviously, as I said, I don't think cardio is going to be an issue for him, and I don't think Usman's going to be able to get the takedown easy. He might take a round or two off him, but honestly, I think Leon could probably win this by decision. He could maybe steal the first 3 rounds or something like that. But as you've probably seen it, like a video where Chael Sonnen said, and this is when he's predicting Pena versus Nunes too, and when Pena got absolutely dominated. But he's he's kind of got proven wrong. But he said when an older fighter and a younger fighter have a title fight, and the older person gets finished, and then they have a rematch straight away, the older person usually loses, but quicker. Um, so I think Usman's gonna lose, and he's probably gonna lose quicker this time. So I think I'm gonna predict that Leon is gonna beat Usman in the fourth round by a finish. I'm not gonna label it as a knockout or a submission. I'm just gonna say a finish. Leon's gonna beat Usman by a finish in the fourth round, and yeah, that's my prediction.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I mean that's a good prediction, a good assessment. I mean, obviously, a lot of things definitely do play. The odds do play into Leon's favor.
Yeah,
He's the hometown hero. He's got
yeah,
momentum and confidence. Now he's the guy coming off the win. He has the psychological edge.
yeah,
He knocked Usman out. He's a younger guy. He's got youth. And Leon Edwards has a great chance as an underdog, and I'm even like putting money on Leon Edwards. However, my overall pick is I am still picking Kamaru Usman, not because I'm
yeah,
doubting Leon or because I think, oh, he got lucky, it was a fluke. No, it was a great setup and a good comeback, and altitude definitely did play somewhat of a factor, but I just also think the styles as well. Like, I
yeah,
think style wise, I just think Kamaru Usman is like a hard matchup for Leon Edwards, based
Yeah,
off their two
definitely.
fights. The first fight, we saw how Usman beat him. And then 7 years later, I mean, I understand that, elevation was a problem, but there's also other aspects of the fight that I got to credit
Yeah,
Usman for is pressure.
yeah,
Constantly backing Leon up. I think that kind of wore on Leon. I think what got Leon tired was the first round, because he had his big moment where he had Usman's back, couldn't get the finish, and I think he had an adrenaline dump, which I think
yeah. I
played
think
a
so.
factor
Yeah,
into gassing out. So I don't think in this fight he will gas as quickly. I think his gas tank is going to be solid. I think Leon will definitely come back and he'll give a better performance, but I don't know. I got to give Usman the benefit of the doubt. I can't assume that he'll be washed or rattled from fighting in enemy territory. He's very mentally strong, and I think this loss will have driven Kamaru Usman, made him more dangerous, and both guys have a lot to prove. Leon's hungry to defend that belt, prove it wasn't a fluke, and to say that, it's my time, and Usman is determined to get revenge. Both guys want it really badly, so I think this is definitely going to be a back and forth and competitive fight, and a
yeah,
closer version of the last fight. But I think the equalizer of this fight is going to be Usman's volume and
yeah,
wrestling. I think he has a bit more output than Leon Edwards.
yeah,
And that wrestling is just always going to be an issue. Leon always has a tough time with the wrestling of Usman,
yeah,
and Kamaru Usman has won, I think, like 6 rounds off Leon Edwards, I believe. Or let me see. They fought 3 rounds the first time.
yeah,
Usman won all three. And then the second time, Usman won 3 rounds to one before the knockout.
yeah, yeah,
So he has a bunch of rounds on Leon Edwards. And before the
yeah,
takedown of round one, Usman was winning that first round as well. So I think Kamaru Usman on his best night is the better fighter. Now, that definitely wasn't Leon's best performance, and
yeah,
he could definitely do better. And I think he's going to give a way better showing. I think he'll still have his moments, and I can definitely see Leon pulling through with a decision. But I'm going to say it's going to be a close fight. I think the early rounds, Leon might have the edge. I think round 3 is going to be sort of like the deciding factor. But
yeah,
Usman might get like a takedown late in that round. And then I think Usman is going to decisively win rounds 4 and 5 with the wrestling. I think he just might be the fresher fighter than Leon in those rounds. And then the
yeah,
judges might sway it in favor of Kamaru Usman. But you never know. Even in that scenario, they could still favor Leon Edwards in like maybe a split decision. But
yeah,
I'm going to say Kamaru Usman does regain the title. And plus, I always pick Kamaru Usman. I got a tough time going against him. And
yeah, yeah.
was anything like he was last time and throughout his whole title reign, I think he's got it, but I definitely do not doubt Leon Edwards. He is the champ and rightfully so, and he's earned it. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens.
Yeah, one more point I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
make as well. Like I'm a little bit, let's say, concerned for Leon because I've seen him in the press conference and he is like not cocky, but I think he's kind of riding off that last win too much. Like, I knocked you out, I knocked you out, a head kick. What excuse you gonna make for the head kick? And I don't really think he's acknowledged that he was losing the fight before. Like, he was like, what about the fight you losing before that? And Leon's like, oh, so what? I was losing the fight, yeah, so what? I knocked you out. And I don't think that's the mentality that he has to be going into. He has to be going into, okay, I underperformed. These might be the factors, but apart from knocking him out, I need to make sure that I'm winning every minute of that fight. I need to make sure that I'm beating Usman, and don't come off with a head kick knockout to steal the fight. Like, it would be a good comeback story, but really for Leon, I think he's looking to dominate him. And I have seen Leon. He in the training clips, he's been training hard. And I don't really know how Usman's training, but I think he's been training hard also. But the concern for Usman is that, I've said this before, he fought Leon for the second time. I thought, he's 35 now, he's nearly 36, and he's had a lot of miles on the clock. And I don't know how long he can go for. His longevity, I think, is running out. We know he has bad knees. Leon went for the leg side kick maybe once or twice. I think he really needs to try target the legs of Usman in this fight, especially, and he needs to throw them with some power. I think when Usman comes towards him and pressures him. I think Leon, like how we fought RDA, he needs to initiate the clinch when Usman gets close to him, and try slice him up early, cut him up,
Smart.
increase that cut, um, you know, impair his vision maybe a bit, and like mess with him, like get Usman respect early on. And I think that's really the key path for victory for Leon. I think is to just put his mark out in the fight early,
Yeah.
and get Usman's respect. Yeah,
Yeah, I agree. And to your point too, it does kind of seem like Leon is maybe being a little bit cocky. I
yeah,
do hope a lot of what he's saying is just mind games. He doesn't mean half the things he's saying.
yeah.
Who
So
knows? Maybe Leon is just trying to sell the fight by doing all the talking he's doing.
yeah,
But yeah, I'd hope that even though because I'm an Usman fan, I'm rooting for him. I do hope that Leon Edwards is not taking Usman lightly, not getting too, because we saw what happened with Juliana Pena when she won the title.
yeah,
She rolled
yeah.
the
She
hype
just
off that
became
first win, got
cocky
too
and
excited on her first defense
yeah,
to Brandon
she didn't.
Moreno in the Davis and
Yeah,
Figueiredo rematch. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I don't want that. I don't want the same thing to end up happening to Leon, and then he loses because of it. That would
yeah,
suck. That could be a factor as to why maybe Usman wins, because we know
yeah,
Usman is taking this seriously. I think he's taking it more serious than he was the last time too. So yeah, and Leon saying Usman, he's not that good and all that. Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
I
Again,
think he
that
needs to
could just
kind
be
of stop
talk.
with that
We'll
attitude.
see. Hmm?
I think he kind of needs to stop with that attitude. Like I remember him saying, like, "Oh, do you know what? I fought Usman and he's not even that good, you know. Yeah, I was just trying to follow the shots and then I couldn't do it. I couldn't do what I wanted to do. But I remember Usman, he's not even that good. Saying stuff like that. Like I think he's kind of discrediting himself and what Usman did by saying that. And
Yep.
as I said, I don't think it's the right approach. But even Usman, he was cocky. Usman was cocky before that rematch, And Leon even said the lies getting to him, the lifestyle, and I think he had been getting to him a bit, and I think Leon kind of served him some humble pie. He kind of humbled him, and now I think now that Usman's humble, he's going to be coming back hungrier, and I just fear that he's going to be really wrestle heavy, after getting knocked out like that. I don't see him wanting to strike with Leon at all. We're
Yeah.
just going to see the Masvidal one, like maybe 2.0, but uh, I just see Leon being a completely different fighter. Leon's only getting better. He's still
Yep.
he's still like 31, I believe, or
Yeah.
30. He's in his youth, he's in his prime, as you said, and he's only getting better. And I think he's one of the most complete fighters. And I think, as I said, we're going to see a development in Leon's game that we haven't seen before. And I think he's going to get a chance to prove it this time. Um,
Yeah.
so, yeah, I think he's going to finish Usman in the fourth round. That's what I think.
Yeah, it's very possible. I mean, as long as Leon isn't as cocky as he's presenting himself to be, he does his homework and he's taking this seriously, then I
Yeah,
could see Leon Edwards going out there and maybe doing his thing, but we'll
yeah,
see what happens. We got a couple more nights to find out. Looking forward to this trilogy. But that's it for our breakdown and prediction of
yeah.
UFC 286. Thank you for joining me once again, Kilo MMA. And yeah, let me know your predictions, guys, in the comment section down below. Uh, like and subscribe, and peace out.